Coming up on Tech News today, is a Sony PlayStation phone in your future, and how cool might it be? Also, Google gets some new voice recognition functions on Android, and if you've got a green laser, we'll tell you where not to point it. Hint, the eyes.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust. This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today for Thursday, August 12, 2010. Tech News Today is brought to you by Slingbox. Watch your favorite TV shows when you're away from home with Slingbox. Check out Slingbox at a Best Buy near you or at slingbox.com. And by Hover.com. Hover is domain name registration and management that's simple. For 10% off your new domain, go to tnt.hover.com. Welcome to Tech News Today. I'm Tom Merritt.
I'm Dr. Kiki.
Behind the board is our Technicolor producer, Erik Lanigan.
Hey, guys.
We color corrected him.
Yes.
To make him look
three layers,
real.
the three-strip process.
That's
RGB.
RG and B, all brought to you free of charge on Tech News Today. Well, India is now making it official. BlackBerry service will be suspended by August 31st.
Dun, dun, dun. It's a deadline.
They've piled on along with the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia just resolved their issue with RIM, and essentially they want to block not just Messenger but also email. And I believe that was it. Is it just? I'm trying to double check this, but I think it's just Messenger and email that they want to block unless RIM complies with their demands. And the demands are that they want to be able to spy on anything they want.
Yep, they want to be able to get in there and see what people are doing. They're concerned that something like the Mumbai attack will happen again, which was coordinated through text messages. Right,
but was it coordinated through text messages on a BlackBerry?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is becoming a snowball effect that's got to be giving RIM nightmares, where one country forces them to change their behavior, and now every country that might possibly want to spy on the data going through RIM's servers is jumping into the game.
Yep.
And the problem here is that RIM actually runs the servers. If they were like every other carrier, or they're not even a carrier, they're a manufacturer, but if they were like every other manufacturer, they wouldn't have this problem.
But they are RIM, and so now they have to deal with this problem, and if they deal with one country, it sets a precedent for having to deal with others, and, you know, yeah, we'll see what happens before the deadline on the 31st, if anything. The heck of it all here is that RIM is doing the server-based delivery of messages in order to make their communications more secure. So the idea is if you use a BlackBerry, you've got the most secure communication because it's encrypted end-to-end by RIM. Which is important because, I mean, their customers are corporate business customers. And so corporations who want to maintain corporate secrecy, the recipe to Coke or whatever it is, that's an important selling point. And if that starts to be compromised in any way, then what is their selling point?
Yeah. So now their selling point is it's really, really secure unless you're in India, Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, or possibly the United States. We're not sure.
We're not sure yet. It could, yeah. We'll find out later.
A more fun story to talk about is the idea of a PlayStation phone running Android 3. That's, I believe, Gingerbread, the one after Froyo, that could be coming out by October. It has been rumored for some time, but Engadget claims they have some exclusive first details on the hardware and the software. Nothing's confirmed, but the device is said to resemble a PSP Go, the smaller version of the PSP.
Yeah, I love the idea of being able to have your slide-out phone and be able to play games on your phone or, play mobile or the digital games that are they played any other way right now?
One report said that the games would be digital.
That was what Erik's point was earlier. I think it's great.
Yeah, what did it say here in the Ars Technica article? It said that it said to be that it can play classic PlayStation and PlayStation Portable games digitally.
Yeah, unlike all those other ways we usually play games. The device is also said to have a directional pad, a touch area for analog controls, and standard face and shoulder buttons, large display, 3.7 and 4.1 inches, 5-megapixel camera, and a 1 gigahertz Snapdragon CPU on board. So pretty cool looking.
I've shown this picture a few times, but we should say this is just a mock-up. This is not the actual thing.
Yeah. And Gadget said this is what we think it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Google also Google today had a big announcement at their San Francisco office of an Android, couple of Android apps actually. One for voice. The company held a press conference Thursday that expanded Google's voice search. It's now voice actions.
Yes.
Actions.
Action.
Now you're an Android user.
Do this.
What kind of voice options did you have before now?
Well, I've been able to use the voice search to search for specific callers, so contacts in my contact list, and be able to initiate calls with people, and then additionally be able to, within the navigation, I think the Google Home, what's the name of the program? I'm completely forgetting the app name, but within that app, be able to use voice to navigate to particular locations. So say the name of a place, and then have it search for that on the map, and then give me voice navigation to a location, which has been great in my car.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole hands-free thing.
And then the other app is Desktop Sync. So if you're using Chrome on your laptop, and let's say their big example was a map, you want to send a map to your phone, it syncs between, as long as you have the extension installed on Google Chrome on your desktop and the app installed on your Android phone.
Yeah, and I as an Android user, I can see myself using something like this instead of having to print out a map or having to enter something into my computer into the phone as I'm on the way going somewhere. It'll be easier just to have it in the phone already and ready to go. I like the note to self part of this is one that I think it's going to be great, which it generates an email that will send a note to yourself. So if you have an idea all of a sudden, or you remember something that you need to do, note to self.
Yeah, and that's the command, right? It's actually
Yes.
Note to self.
Note to self. And I say that to myself all the time and then forget things. So this could save me.
As a Twin Peaks fan, I'd like to go Diane and then have it start recording.
Good.
But we should take a break here and thank our sponsor, Slingbox. This episode is brought to you by Slingbox. They let you watch your home TV anywhere you go on most portable devices, including iPhones, iPod Touches, Blackberries, laptops, and now Android mobile phones. The way it works, you go to Best Buy, you purchase a Slingbox, you bring it home, you hook up your Slingbox to your TV and internet connection, and then you can watch your TV or your mobile laptop wherever you go. Go wherever you're connected to the internet and watch the programs off your DVR. You're not limited. It's not like a subscription service. Anything that you get at home, including what's recorded on your DVR, you can watch anywhere you have an internet connection. So why not try them out? Find an in-store demo at a Best Buy near you or visit slingbox.com. Gartner Group has come out with some new numbers. Worldwide mobile device sales grew 13.8% in the second quarter of 2010. Prices fell down. HTC has launched into the top 10 device makers. They took 1.8% of the second quarter market share, up from 0.9%. They're still right behind Apple. Apple's in the number 7 slot, and Nokia is still dominating everything, and Symbian, by implication, is dominating everything with 34.2% of the market share. Samsung number 2, LG number 3, then RIM, Sony Ericsson, Motorola, and our Apple and HTC. But it's good news for HTC as they climb the charts.
Yeah, doubling is not bad.
No, doubling is never bad.
It's never bad. I mean, it's a small amount really, but doubling is good. I love the fact that Symbian, Nokia has 36%, 37% of the share, and then Symbian itself has 51% of the market share, which is...
Well, they went down actually from 51%. That's second quarter 09. It's 41%.
Yeah.
Still tops though.
It still tops. It's huge.
And RIM dropped a little bit from 19 to 18. Android, if you compare second quarter 09 to second quarter 2010, went from 1.8% to 17.2%. So they're rocketing up.
Yep. Which makes sense with all of the devices, the phones that are out currently, and how they're doing in the market.
And iOS, the Apple operating system, went from 13 to 14.2, so they also rose. Microsoft Windows Mobile fell quite a bit, but that's going to change when Windows Phone 7 comes out later this year. So we're going to see it. We're going to see a horse race, and it looks like RIM and Symbian are the ones that have the most to lose.
Right, because they're the majority share.
Android, iOS, and eventually Windows Phone 7 are going to be gunning for them. So it'll be interesting to see what these look like after the third quarter. Probably won't see much from Windows Phone 7 in the third quarter. By the fourth quarter, we will.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, with Nokia has always been a quality phone provider. The service is good. The platform is a great platform. I just, wonder with these phones coming up from Android, from all over the place, how that's going to change the market. If Nokia can maintain that competitive edge.
Yeah, that they are scrambling right now because everyone's into Android. In fact, Vodafone so into Android that they're in big trouble because people really want the next version of Android. With that Android 2.2 coming, they wanted Android 2.2. Vodafone, a European carrier, pushed out an upgrade that everyone thought was going to be Froyo, and then it turned out it was a bunch of crapware from Vodafone.
You could get a dating service on your phone.
Oh, that's great. A Vodafone dating service.
Yeah.
So Vodafone at first resisted changing it, but now they've actually told users, fine, we're going to back down. We're going to not only remove all the crapware, but give you Android 2.2. We will roll out a vanilla version of 2.2, said a spokesperson from BBC News. And then later on, they'll allow you to opt in to getting the Vodafone apps.
Yeah, I love vanilla version.
Yes, because it has
of Android, because it doesn't have the crapware.
Well, it's Froyo, vanilla Froyo.
Yeah. Instead of
it works.
chocolate,
instead of with sprinkles or anything.
Sprinkles, whatever.
I do think that they're probably going to mess it up again because a small amount of their audience probably did like the Vodafone apps, right? I mean, as a majority of them didn't, but some of them did. So now they're yanking those away. So the few people out there that they did satisfy with the Vodafone dating app are going to go, wait a minute, where did my app go? I mean, I can't get 2.2 and keep your crappy app?
Right.
So it's interesting that they back down on that, and it's a really, I think, telling on how Android has become something that has a lot of loyalty and people follow closely and they want that latest version of the operating system.
Oh yeah. Well, you get new apps, you get new features along with it, and why don't you want to be on the cutting edge of all that?
And people aren't always aware of that sort of thing. Sometimes it's just like, oh, my phone does something new now. I wasn't aware, but people follow this now. They're all geeks. Android is creating more geeks.
Oh, it is.
Apple's rechargeable AA batteries, we talked about those a few weeks back, and those AA batteries have been ripped apart according to Engadget, they have been torn down by Super Apple to find out if they were actually just rebranded Sanyo Envelopes. They couldn't find any branding of any kind, but all the testing they did matched up exactly to the amount of charge capacity, the amount of voltage that you would get from a Sanyo Eneloop. So if that's the case, you really aren't going to want to waste the money
to buy Apple.
To buy the $29 Apple charger and 6 AA batteries when you can get 8 AA Eneloops and a charger for the same price.
Yeah, I don't see any reason. I mean, the majority of people are going to buy the Apple brand because, you buy into the branding. You don't catch this story. You don't know that the Sanyo Eneloops are going to be the equal to the batteries. And, you don't want to mess around with batteries because if you get the wrong amount of power in them, you can do some damage.
Yeah.
So, and also chargers and stuff, those also have to match the battery, have to match the device. So you can't just it's not a grab bag. You do want stuff that's going to match.
And it looks like you could take the Apple batteries and put them in the Eneloop charger, according to Super Apple, because they match so well. They're in the rated charge and the discharge and all of that. So that lends itself even more to thinking those must be the same batteries, just rebranded. Yeah,
I'm just wondering. In this article it says the Eneloops maintain their ability to maintain 75% charge after 3 years inside the kitchen utility drawer. Would the iPhone or any other Apple devices maintain their ability to work after 3 years?
But these Apple AA batteries that they're selling now, that's the thing. That's what they say, is that you can these batteries that you can buy for your mouse or your keyboard from Apple, they'll keep their charge forever.
But the device might not work that long because it wasn't built to.
Yeah, right. Your batteries will last longer than your device.
Exactly.
I ordered as soon as I saw this morning, I ordered some Eneloops. I was like, you know what? I need some of these. I've always had these batteries. Like really bad nickel cadmium rechargeables that I've had forever, which they don't keep any kind of charge when you leave them in the drawer. You always have to recharge them before you put them in a new device.
Right.
So I want something that'll keep its charge for 3 years at 75%. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Let's thank our other sponsor for today's show, Hover. Hover is a domain name registration made easy. Easier than it is for me to say domain name registration. Believe me, Hover is all about making stuff simple. You don't have to go wade through a bunch of options. You don't have to uncheck a million things. You go to a site to register a domain, and they don't try to sell you a ton of services. They just focus on making it easy to register and manage domain names and email. They used to be called Domain Direct, if you're familiar with that. They've been selling domains since 1997, so they're not an upstart. They have a complete help and resource area of their website. They even have how-to videos. You can learn about managing, forwarding, transferring domains and email. If you want to transfer your domain and you've got your domain marked private, they've got a great tutorial that'll tell you, here's how you take it off of private at your own domain name register so you can make the transfer really easy. And they even have a no-hold policy. If you call between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you will not be put on hold by their customer service. You'll get right to a person, and they will help you out. So check them out today at tnt.hover.com. And the next time you have a domain to register, use the offer code TNT and you'll get 10% off. So why not give them a try? tnt.hover.com. Couple of science-y pieces to finish up with here because Dr. Kiki's on the show.
That's right.
So we have to do some science.
And it's techie science. It's stuff you're going to enjoy, I promise.
Cheap green laser pointers emit dangerous levels of infrared radiation, but they only cost around $15.
Yeah, don't point them in your eyes.
Not in the eye.
Not in the eyes. Like, really, people... Do people with the red lasers, people have gotten lackadaisical with them. They're cat toys, and the blue and the green lasers, they're stronger lasers, but the prices come down, so they're a lot more accessible now. And so I don't know if people really think about them in the same way.
Used to be getting a green laser was a big deal. Like, oh, you spent the money for a green laser? Wow.
Yeah.
Even when they were not $100,000 anymore, they were still pricey. But now that they're so cheap, with great bargains come great responsibility.
Great responsibility, not in the eyes. So a study put out by some people from the National Institute of Standards and Technology and the University of Maryland have been testing these cheap green lasers and found that they put out usually more infrared radiation than the actual green laser light that they're putting out. And in this paper, they tell you how you too can test to see whether or not your green laser is emitting infrared radiation.
So this is something to pay attention to. If you buy a green laser, you know you're getting a powerful laser, but the way some of these are built, there's infrared as well coming out.
Well, it starts
kind of as a byproduct.
Yeah, so to create the green light, the laser diode generates near infrared light first. So it's near infrared, and then it's focused into a neodymium crystal, converts the light into infrared with a wavelength of 164 nanometers, and then it goes through a crystal that doubles it and lets it emit the green light that the green laser has.
So how do you tell if you've got a green laser that's got the dangerous stuff in there that will kill your eyes before you even know it's there?
Well, usually, you should know about lasers and how they're built. That's really it. I mean, the point is, if you're paying... If it doesn't cost a lot of money, it's probably lacking special filters that should be in place. They took apart a few lasers, and there's a special infrared filter that is supposed to be in place in these green lasers to decrease the amount of infrared that they radiate, and they found that it was completely missing. Just so maybe this is a cost-saving step.
Oh, that's how you get it down to $15.
Right,
huh? Just
just get rid of that. We don't need that. People won't put it in their eyes, whatever.
People are smarter than that.
No.
So if you reflect the beam off a standard CD, the diffracted light onto a piece of paper displays a diffraction pattern. Webcams are sensitive to infrared light. They can detect it too. So there's a few different ways to detect if that filter is missing, right?
Yeah, so you can use the CD to diffract onto the piece of paper and then record the piece of paper with a webcam and look at the webcam while you're doing this.
Yeah, don't look at the laser.
Don't look at the CD. Don't look at the paper because you could be reflecting it into your eyes. Also, if you have special eyewear to protect yourself if you want to try this, professionals talk to a professional before trying this at home.
Or maybe don't buy
a
green laser until you're sure that it's a safe one.
Yeah. Maybe that's the best advice we can give.
Yeah.
And then, not in the eyes, people.
Right. Definitely not in the eyes. Finally, Brian Wilcox, JPL roboticist, was talking at a NASA workshop about the possibility of using part of the International Space Station as a capsule for astronauts to take a trip to an asteroid.
I love this. I mean, it's such a great idea. It's not that they're just going to take it off of the space station right now. Oh, we just got it up there, and why don't we just,
steal it and go for a joyride to an asteroid? No, that's not what we're talking about.
No. So the space station is supposed to be decommissioned in 2020, and that's about the time that NASA says they could potentially be ready to launch a mission towards an asteroid. So at that point in time, if they're going to decommission the space station anyway, why not just take advantage of the fact that you've got some rooms up there, boarding areas,
rooms
in space.
with a view.
Yeah, attach a couple of little trucks to them. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Definitely
drive
better
it to the asteroid.
than just trashing them like we did with Skylab, and just having to fall back into the atmosphere and burn up.
And having to deal with the space junk, which is a huge issue right now anyway.
Yeah. Definitely. So I like this idea. I'm all for it. I wish we were still going to the moon, but we could talk about that another time.
I like it. This is like intergalactic reduce, reuse, recycling.
Yeah, it is. It's very green.
It's very green. I like it.
Or blue, or whatever it is in space. All right, time now for the News Fuse.
Sweet. Wow. I'm just overwhelmed by that.
I tried to warn you.
You did. Okay. Into the news fuse. E-Ink Holdings is sampling out color panels to device vendors. China-based Hanvan promises to deliver color e-ink readers by the end of this year. 2 varieties of touchscreens are being prepared, a capacitive touch panel and a pen-based digitizer. E-Ink also claims better response times and reflectivity.
Today, Twitter introduced a tweet button. And it was reported everywhere, so I figured we should mention it too. It allows websites to place a button alongside their content to retweet that article. Button serves as an invitation to share. The button was made by TweetMeme in 2009, but it has now been integrated into Twitter's official offerings.
WikiLeaks spokesman Julian Assange says his organization is preparing to release the remaining secret Afghan war documents it has, and it has a lot. Assange says his organization is about halfway through those 15,000 secret files obtained by WikiLeaks. They claim to be making sure they would not release information that would endanger lives. Read my lips.
The Pew Internet and American Life Project Home Broadband Use 2010 study released yesterday reports a slowdown in U.S. broadband growth, down to 3% in the past year compared to 8% in the previous 2. Interesting side note of the study, which surveyed 2,252 U.S. adults, was that 21% still don't use the Internet at all. These individuals also don't view national high-speed Internet access as something that should be a government priority because they don't use it. Why do they care?
Google's Richard Witt posted on their public policy blog today, defending themselves from vociferous critics of their proposed open internet legislative framework. He wrote, "It's true that Google previously has advocated for certain openness safeguards to be applied in a similar fashion to what would be applied to wireline services. However, in the spirit of compromise, we have agreed to a proposal that allows this market to remain free from regulation for now, while Congress keeps a watchful eye."
I'm sure they'll keep a watchful eye.
Congress is watching? What?
He also said that it has nothing to do with the fact that we're in a business arrangement with Verizon.
Nothing at all.
He really did say that.
Yeah.
Dell's own Lionel Menchaca has confirmed that the $549 version of the Dell Streak will not be SIM unlocked. It is SIM locked to AT&T. That means you can pay more to not have a contract, but you can't swap a SIM from another GSM provider if you've paid more, like when you're traveling. So it'll be a while, I'm sure, before someone roots the Streak, but you'll have to wait for that.
Dope.
Even if you've paid full price. That's
Yeah, I know. John Gruber at Daring Fireball claims the CDMA iPhone has reached engineering verification test, EVT status, just one step below design verification,
which
test.
I guess would be DVT status.
Yes, DVT, which is what the stolen iPhone 4 prototype was.
So it's one step behind the stolen iPhone 4 prototype.
We are one step away from more theft. This means the CDMA iPhone is just 2 hops away from production and lends more credence to the rumors of a Verizon iPhone in January.
All right, let's move on to the calendar. We got a lot of stuff going on today and in the next few days, actually.
Tons of stuff happening. Today, BlackBerry Torch and the Droid 2 are officially available, as are the 12-core Mac Pros.
It's a buy-in day. It's shopping Thursday.
Buy. I should be telling myself, sell, so you can afford all this stuff.
Right, seriously. The Dell Streak goes on sale tomorrow, too, so that adds to our shopping cart.
You can buy so many things.
You can buy it for $549, and it'll still be locked.
It'll still be locked. Yay. Oh, joy. Net neutrality, for those of you who love to protest, if you didn't have anything planned on Friday, net neutrality protest is planned at Google. So show up at Google.
On tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Protest away. Epic 4G is coming August 31st for $249.99 on contract.
So low, they're practically giving them away.
Almost.
Not really.
No. Microsoft is going to launch an IE9 beta on September 15th. And like I was telling you earlier, Tom, I feel pretty lucky because I just installed IE8. So
Congratulations.
Just in time.
Now
Yay,
you can try the beta. The beta does replace your previous installations if you do try it. So
all replaced. Yeah. And coming September 30th, Droid 2 R2-D2 edition.
So if you don't get the Droid 2 today, you could hold out for the R2-D2 edition, which will happen.
It will.
That rumor
This is the
confirmed.
droid you're looking for.
Finally in the calendar, TWiT is going to be at Dragon Con. Myself and Brian Brushwood will be there for the entire weekend, walking around, doing some live streaming, doing some panels, having a meetup. We're actually going to plan a meetup for Saturday night, September 4th. So if you're going to be in Atlanta for Dragon Con, come on out and meet us. We'll give you full details on the where and the time and all of that. But keep Saturday evening, early evening, like around 6 o'clock free, and we'll tell you where to meet us. On to the voicemails. 260-TNT show is the phone number, and our caller today wants to weigh in on this whole network neutrality debate. He's got an interesting idea.
Hey guys, just wanted to weigh in on the network neutrality issues. I understand the wireless networks might need some different network management than a traditional broadband connection. What I'm not okay with is the wireless companies tiering and charging for that. So how about we just allow them to do some basic network management, but not for profit? Make it something that they can't charge for, and that might keep them from creating an artificially tiered system. Anyway, that's just a thought.
Intriguing thought. I've heard this floated before. Like, okay, you can tier, but you can't make any money off of it.
Right.
Which the carriers are all saying we have to tier to make money to build out the infrastructure, so I don't think they're going to buy it. But it's an interesting way to answer the idea of, well, it's just about quality of service.
Right. And would that be an opt-in kind of tiering where people could choose to be within a particular tier of service?
Well, I think what he's saying is, because one of the things I'm comfortable with myself, a lot of people are not, and I get angry emails about it, but the idea of saying, you know what, we're just for quality of service, we're going to prioritize video traffic. Because you can see what those packets are without finding out what's in them. You can tell something's a VoIP packet without finding out what you're talking about on the VoIP line. And so you speed those along. Your email gets delayed by a few milliseconds. It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
But you're
still
not
going to get it.
You're not saying, well, it's video from Hulu that's getting prioritized. So I think he's onto something there. If you want to say, like, let's just insert quality of service, like, great. Well, you can't charge anybody for this accelerated delivery of video. It just applies to everyone.
Yeah, and the talking about it in the mobile realm, the wireless realm, is really where the conversation needs to be moving. I mean, wireline is one thing right now, but everybody is predicting that mobile is going to be where it's at in the future. So,
well, yeah, who wants to have to be tied down to a wire unless you have to be? I mean, no one wants to be. Well, everybody wants to be wireless. That's why laptops are so popular. That's why smartphones are so popular, because they don't have to be plugged in all the time. That's why batteries were invented.
Yeah. So I'm still not understanding exactly what the benefit is to Google. I mentioned this last week, but what the benefit to Google is to make a particular agreement with Verizon on wireline, but then not to be discussing wireless.
Well, what they said in their post today was, we think this will advance things. We think it starts the compromise and moves us forward.
Right.
We don't think people should accept our policy as a 100% the way we put it down. We don't expect anyone to do that. We just want to advance things forward by showing that a carrier and a content provider can come to an agreement on stuff. But a lot of people feel that it was disingenuous because they gave away too much.
Right. And then that sets a precedent for giving away in the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
On to the emails, TNT@twit.tv. Rich in lovely Cleveland says, just listened to episode 51, and I was just thinking the other day how easy it would be to determine my unlock pattern, he's talking about on his phone, based on my smudges. I thought it was just because I'm Italian and it's the middle of the summer, but thankfully other people secrete enough hand grease that this is a major issue for everyone. I use a screen protector with my phone, so I was thinking that when the smudges become obvious, I would just put a new one on. The smudge attack could also be psychological, since most people unlock their phone a lot and want the pattern to be simple. I'm sure there are some fairly obvious patterns that emerge as common. And then he says, oh, God, do we need secure gestures now? Your unlock pattern must have at least 2 direction changes. God help us all. I guess the line straight down the middle is the ABC 1, 2, 3 of patterns. Also, at least on my MyTouch 3G slide, there's no lockout timeout with multiple incorrect patterns. Love the show. So you can just keep trying patterns all day long. It won't matter.
Keep trying. It won't erase your phone. It won't lock you out. From Joe, says listening to yesterday's show was a unique experience. I didn't know if I was listening to tech news or construction news. Becky's location in ABC World Construction News was exactly the place not to do a Skype call from. I had to go back and look at the video because I expected her to at least have a hard hat on. You mean there isn't a quieter place to be, Becky? Hey, quiet down in here.
Stop that. We can't even make it as loud as it was yesterday. And the thing is, we should stop that because a lot of people were really upset. This was one of the nicer emails we got about it.
He says, anyway, love the show, guys. I'm a big TWiT and TNT
We had people
fan.
accusing us of being unprofessional, unprepared, that we hated them. That we were, they did this just to annoy them.
On purpose.
And the fact of the matter was, Becky had done the show from the exact same location in the middle of the ABC newsroom the day before without any problems. We didn't expect any problems. She actually went to that location so that it would be a safe location. She was in her hotel, and she's like, I want to make sure I have good bandwidth and I'm in a quiet place.
You would
These
think
guys
the
show
ABC
up
newsroom.
right as we're starting to do the pre-show. They show up, and it was pretty quiet through the pre-show, so we were hoping we could get the show in before they started, and they just started, and they wouldn't listen to anybody. So our apologies. I mean, that's our excuse, but really we do take responsibility, and our apologies. We don't want to have a construction zone whenever we're recording a show.
TNT, construction free zone.
From now on, we promise. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And if you have a question or a comment, you can find us in all kinds of different ways. 260-TNT show is our phone number. TNT@twit.tv is our email address. And twit.tv/TNT is where you can find our episodes as well as links to the show notes wiki, which has links to everything we talked about in every day's show. We'll see you next time.